I'm Holly.
And I'm Bridget.
And this
is Girls Next Level.
Welcome back to Girls Next Level podcast. We are back to discuss the rest of our season 4 premiere, Patriot Dames. But before that, I wanted to get into this thing that happened that came out like right before season 4. Do you remember when we were interviewed for an article in Elle magazine?
I brought it.
Okay.
It's terrible.
It's terrible. Well, I remember this was the first major piece that had ever been written on us and the show. Like, obviously, we'd been written about in tabloids before. We'd been written about, like, random critics had written about us. But this is the first time we were, like, sat down, interviewed for, like, a real piece. And it was written by a woman named Daphne Merkin. Like, I really liked her when I talked to her and stuff. And
I don't remember her at all. I have zero recollection of even what she looks like or even sitting down for the interview.
Did you do an interview with her? Because I'm skimming through and I'm not seeing quotes from you. Is that
I know.
crazy?
Well, she said that we all showed up in sweats and no makeup for her interview.
Yeah, it's interesting. But I wonder maybe you didn't do an interview.
It's possible because she barely mentions me in here. And when she does, I'm an old crone.
Oh.
And doesn't even mention like any of my education at all, but goes into great deal about Kendra and her life.
Yeah, I didn't reread the whole thing because I just kind of went back to the spots that kind of like overflowed into real life for me.
I reread the whole thing and it makes me all angry all over again.
I mean, it probably would too if I read it, just because I never liked the way we were perceived back then, or what the narrative that Hef was putting out was back then. And I think the writer probably approached this thinking she was, going to be an outside observer and not pushing the Hef narrative. But of course, like, the narrative is what she's fed through Kevin and through Hef and whatever.
I feel like we could do a whole slumber party reading this article and tearing it apart.
Well, we could do that. But here I wanted to mention one thing that kind of like went over into real life for me. In one of the last paragraphs, she writes, "A month or so after I returned home, it occurs to me that what Holly doesn't like about Kendra may be the same thing that left me feeling so uneasy after my visit, which is the dark mirror she holds up to the pampered bird in a cage existence the girls lead. When I asked Holly at the close of our chat whether she'd ever want a daughter to follow in her footsteps, her answer was an emphatic no. She went on to say that she has big plans for her hypothetical daughters, just as she always had big dreams for herself." The important part of that, what like overflowed into real life for me, was the first part of it when she says what Holly doesn't like about Kendra. Now, when I did an interview with her, I never said anything about Kendra or not liking it. Like, I would have never done that. Like, That's something that would have been an asshole move. It's something I would have felt like I could have gotten in trouble for. So I would have never said
really
it.
How we felt at this time. We were all pretty tight at this point in time.
We were. Like, don't get me wrong. There were times when Kendra was annoying. There were times when the way she was treated compared to us was definitely annoying.
Absolutely.
But I would have never said that. So I don't know if her coming off like Holly doesn't like Kendra, I don't know if that's from watching the show and the way things are portrayed, or if it's just something she sensed from like being up there and interviewing us. But Hef came up to me in the Vanity one day after this came out and he goes, "You need to go apologize to Kendra for what was said in that article." And I go, "I didn't say anything." And I was fully confident because I was always so careful in interviews back then. Like, I knew where my place was. I knew what Hef wanted me to say. I knew what I could get in trouble for. So I was just dead confident that I didn't say anything wrong. And he's like, "Well, you really need to go, apologize." And I'm like, "I'm not going to do it. I didn't say anything."
Right.
And then to his credit, later, he did come back to me and say, "You know what? You're right. You shouldn't have to apologize if you didn't say anything." But I just thought that was so wacky and so indicative of how fucking weird things were there and how much he loved drama. And like, why should I apologize because somebody else said that?
Right.
And then I was thinking, like, if something like that happened today, like if I was doing an interview and then I saw it written back and they made it sound like I didn't like you or one of my friends, I'd hit you up and be like, "Hey, just so you know, like, I didn't say anything here," or I'd clarify on social media just so people didn't think that.
Yeah.
Of course, back then we had no social media. Was there MySpace? Yes, but it wasn't really
like this, though, really.
It wasn't like this. Like, there would be a time, I think later, like when I left the mansion, where I felt like I could kind of say my piece on MySpace if I needed to, but certainly not at the mansion. I didn't feel free to do that. And then I think I wonder why I didn't say anything to Kendra about it. Like, obviously, I don't think I should have to apologize because I didn't say anything. But typically for a friendship, you'd be like, oh, I don't know why. I hope you don't feel weird about that because, like, I didn't say anything. But I think just at the mansion was so fucking weird. I would have felt like I was stepping into a whole other booby trap if I did that.
Mm-hmm. And why would they interview you and Kendra and Hef and Kevin, but not interview me?
I don't know. I wonder if they did or not.
I don't know.
It's really strange.
I mean, she makes it sound like I have no memory of it, but she makes it sound like she interviewed all of us.
Yeah.
But you're right. There's like 0 quotes from me.
I feel like you'd remember it though, because I very clearly remember my interview with her. Like I can imagine it in my mind. We were in the library. She had a little snacky snack.
No. I know that it happened in the library because she talks about them happening in the library. But no, I have no idea what this woman looks like.
Oh, wow.
I have no idea.
Maybe you weren't interviewed.
That makes me even more mad then.
Yeah, that's so strange. I wonder why that would have been. Like, were you gone?
I don't know.
It's very strange.
Yeah, but I have a lot to say about this. So we could do a whole summer party on that.
Yeah, but I just thought I'd bring it up as far as like the timeline, because this was a period of time in the show where we were starting to get noticed in a bigger way, to the point where like a bigger magazine would do a whole deep dive profile on us. And then the backsplash from that was really weird.
Yeah.
It's really strange.
I will say Jessica Biel is on the cover of this, and she's one of the first celebrities I ever met when I moved to LA, and one of the nicest I've ever met.
Oh, where did you meet her?
We did a pilot together when I first moved here. You know those apartments that are like going into Burbank?
Oakwood?
Yeah.
It's not called that now. It's called like Ava or something.
Yeah. Okay, so there, all the like newbie LA people used to live there. I did not live there, but like a lot of people did. And there was like lots of things, and they'd let you film and stuff there.
Yeah. And there's something different about that apartment complex that makes people want to go there. Like
they're furnished. You can get them fully furnished.
And
already.
Can you do like month to month?
Yes, I think so.
I think that's what's special about it, is most places in LA, you need good credit and you have to lease, but they let you do month to month. So a lot of industry people will live there just if they need to be here for a small period of time.
Yeah, or you're just coming to LA to try it out. I didn't even really know about, I don't think I even really knew about those when I first moved to LA. But I don't mean first moved, but before, when I was like looking for an apartment to move here. But after I moved here, that was one of the first things I shot, was this pilot, and it was called Celebrity Car Wash. And they had like cute girls wearing like, we just wore like jean shorts and like a t-shirt or whatever, a tank top or whatever. And a celebrity would come and we would wash the cars, but like it was also a talk show kind of thing while you're washing the car.
Yeah.
I don't remember all the stuff about it, but at the top of the Oakwood apartments, there was this big kind of like empty parking lot type thing. And so we shot the show up there. And she was the celebrity person. It was her car we were washing.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, it was fun, and she spent the whole day with us, and she was really, really nice and super down to earth. And
oh, that's so nice to know she's nice. I love that miniseries she did called Candy. Did you watch that?
No,
I think it was called Candy. She played like this.
Oh, no, I did not watch it, but I wanted to. It's one of those things that I forgot about, and then it got off my radar.
And there were a couple different limited series made about that same story. It was like a woman who ended up killing someone.
Yeah.
I'm getting the details of the story, but it was really good. Like,
yeah,
if you're looking for something to watch. And I'm pretty sure it was called Candy, because I think that was the woman's name. And she's like holding a mint candy in the promo picture. And she's like all 70s with her perm and her glasses.
Yes, I remember that. Yes.
And Justin Timberlake does kind of a cameo as one of the cops.
Oh, he does? That's funny.
Yeah, it was a really good show. Another thing I wanted to mention too around this timeline, just because, and it doesn't have a lot of meaning right now, but it comes up later after we move out, because Kevin would try to throw this in my face as if it was one of the reasons I threw a fit and left. But around this time, I saw in my day planner right before we start season 4, I was going to Kevin's office and having meetings about possibly developing a show that was kind of like America's Next Top Model, but for finding playmates. And the reason I wanted to do that was because I worked at the studio and I was trying to think of ways like, how do we keep being a playmate relevant? And how do we keep it something that people still want to do even after like Girls Next Door is over? So we were talking about that, and Kevin was really excited about the idea, and he kind of like soft pitched it a few places, but it was determined by whoever that the prize wasn't big enough. So people weren't really interested. Plus, of course, like the advertising problems that always come with like a Playboy related show. So it's like, oh, we won't do it. Like, no big deal. It wasn't something I had like my ego hung up on. And it wasn't even like I would host it, but I wasn't even thinking about it as like a vehicle for me. It was more like an extension of my job. Like, how do I keep being a playmate relevant and a big deal? But he would throw that in my face and go on message boards and say that like one of the reasons I left was I was throwing a fit that I didn't get that show. And like, this was so long before I left, like a full year, like almost year and a half.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that was all about. But I just wanted to clock that while it's on the timeline.
Well, I think people, Kevin, just like are looking for excuses. And like I said before, I feel like it just blindsided so many people. Not your problem, but like I feel like it did that people to this day are grasping for like trying to figure out like what happened.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And Kevin was big with that because when I was friends with him, like during the spinoff era, I remember one of his top executives left and he could not figure out why that executive left. It couldn't be an easy answer. Like, you're not giving him enough responsibility. You're not letting him move up. Couldn't have anything to do with Kevin.
Right.
So he came over to my house with like his assistant and they just sat there and pondered, and he's trying to think up any reason this guy might have left or any like sinister undercover reason he might have had for leaving, instead of like looking at the obvious like Occam's razor reason.
Yeah.
He couldn't look at that because it was him. But so those are some things that were going on in our lives. Check in on our slumber party. We will go deep dive into that article and let's get into the episode.
So Nick and I are really trying to get our summer bodies together, and we have been trying to eat healthier. And that means I am loving Hungry Root even more than ever before because the shopping, planning, and cooking food really can be simple and stress-free. Imagine having your weekly shopping cart filled for you and your meals for the week decided on, taking all that work off your plate. It's why I love Hungry Root. Hungry Root takes the stress out of mealtime by filling your cart with personalized picks and planning your week of meals. I love that because I really just get stuck in a rut. And the cool thing about Hungry Root is it gets smarter with every order. With over 15,000 quick recipes shipped each week, many are ready in just 15 minutes or less, and a wide grocery selection, including smoothies, kids snacks, sweets, salad kits, ready-to-eat meals, and supplements. It's easy to find options that fit your whole family's tastes and nutrition goals. Hungry Root helps you eat well and reach your diet or health goals. Whether you're gluten-free, dairy-free, high-protein, focused on gut health, or anything else, just take a quick quiz and their smart cart technology recommends groceries, recipes, and supplements tailored to your tastes and needs. It's like having a personal shopper and chef all in one, so you can spend less time planning and more time doing what you love.
We love Hungry Root. Hungry Root makes everything so easy. The quality of the food, particularly the meats, is so good. And I love the little snacks. Like I got to pick pickles one time. It was so good.
Take advantage of this exclusive offer. For a limited time, get 40% off your first box, plus get a free item in every box for life. Go to hungryroot.com/nextlevel and use code NEXTLEVEL. That's hungryroot.com/nextlevel, code NEXTLEVEL, to get 40% off your first box and a free item of your choice for life. hungryroot.com/nextlevel, code NEXTLEVEL.
We are back with part 2 of The Girls Next Door Season 4 premiere, Patriot Dames, the 4th of July episode. Also, if you're on our Patreon, patreon.com/girlsnextlevel, we do a slumber party where we just talk about the DVD commentary that goes with that episode because we recorded it after we moved out of the house. It's pretty wild and it's a lot of fun.
I mean, it's so wild. Like, you guys, I was totally shook when I watched it. Like, I watched this episode and I was like teary-eyed and I felt like the love and I felt like everybody was getting along and like this was such a great time and this is all about my family too and stuff. And then I watched it with the commentary and I was like totally shaking afterwards. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, I remember you messaged me.
The difference is night and day.
It really is.
It's whoa. So there's no way we could combine it. Because usually I like to talk about the commentary because we have a lot of insight in the commentary usually.
Yeah, and it's usually very apropos to the episode, but this one really wasn't.
This one was unhinged, you guys. Like, it's all over the place, and whoa. So I think we left off right where the limo is arriving to the Marines event.
Yes.
I arrived separately. I talked about this a little bit before last time because we went, my parents and my sister and I all went to this restaurant called Sharky's beforehand, which was really fun with the shark bite drink. Yeah, and I have in my notes, what about Holly? That's weird because it is really weird that you're not at this thing. And then they cut to this office because I forgot at first, but it was a surprise that we were coming. So none of the families, the Marines did not know we were going to be there. So they brought us in through, and it was at like this car museum type place.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. So I think the cars were all moved off to the side or moved out or whatever, and they use that as like the banquet hall. But we were like in the offices areas, and we were like getting ready.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to put my bunny costume on underneath my stepdad's giant shirt.
Oh, how funny. And as a viewer, we don't know that your family went down with you. I wrote in my notes, I'm like, and I'm surprised to see your stepdad just appears out of nowhere in the background.
No, same. I'm like, oh, wow. No, there's no notice that my family's in town. No, nothing. It's just all of a sudden they're there. It is weird. And but the Sharky's thing is on the deleted scenes. That'll give you a little more insight into our trip. I think it's funny because Lacey comes over and she's putting bronzer on my chest and stuff.
That's so funny.
I didn't even realize that. I mean, usually I've told you before, I'm tanorexic, so I love to be tan and everything, but I didn't realize that Lacey cared about like the tan or not tan or anything when you're in the bunny costume.
I mean, maybe she just like played it by ear. She just cared about the look so much.
Yeah.
And I'm confused because Kendra's wearing just this different jacket. It's like they show Lacey bringing her this jacket and then she's not wearing. Was that from a different date? Like, what's happening? I don't know what's happening.
I'm confused too.
I'm really confused.
And if she's not going to wear it, why even show that scene where Lacey goes up to her room and gives it to her?
I do always like the graphic tees Kendra chooses to wear for things. And she just has one on today that just says Kendra.
Well, and then they have a woman, and I'm like, did they ask this woman to say this? Because this woman who's like playing on the event or whatever asked Kendra, are you going to wear an outfit, meaning like a bunny costume or whatever? And Kendra says, well, yeah, you see it right now. And it's just like the jeans and the sweatshirt that she's wearing. And Kendra like cracks up laughing like that's a ridiculous question to ask her. But I have to assume they asked that woman to ask her that. Or do you think she just looked like such a sore thumb that everybody else was dressed up and she wasn't, that the woman asked organically?
I do think she looks like a sore thumb. I didn't think it backstage, but I thought it when you guys all get on stage together. And it's not necessarily that she's not wearing the bunny costume, but that she's not even wearing like a dress or anything like that. And I'm not trying to come out hypercritical because like I said, I look at what I'm wearing in this episode just for the sake of being on camera. And I, as a viewer, am disappointed. I would have liked to see myself in a cuter outfit. But I do think that she looks like a sore thumb for somebody who just might be coming into this.
Yeah. And in an interview, Kendra says, wearing the bunny suit is not my favorite thing because I do not know how to stand in it. And I always look like I have camel toe. Second of all, I can't breathe in it. And third of all, I like to drink beer. And that's what I want to do with the Marines before they went to Iraq. So I'd rather drink a beer than wear the bunny suit with the Marines, you know?
Thoughts?
I
feel like this is a forced thing because like I said last time we talked about this episode, I feel like they don't know what to do with Kendra in this episode. So they're giving her extra stuff to try to explain that she's not really qualified to explain like what this event is. And they're trying to like rein her back into season 1 Kendra. Like, let's get back to she doesn't want to wear the bunny costume thing. And by this point, it's old hat. Like none of you guys care if she's wearing the bunny costume. Everybody's just happy to be there.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like falls flat, I think.
Yeah. Well, I feel like this is the second or third time that we're going over this whole scenario. And fine, she doesn't want to wear the bunny costume. Like, why do we have to keep repeating it? I don't know. So that's how I kind of feel about it. Like, we get it. You don't want to wear it.
And does she even drink beer with the Marines before they go to Iraq?
Honestly, we were so busy. Everybody was like so excited we were there. We took so many pictures. I don't even remember stopping to take pictures. Like, stopping from taking the pictures.
Yeah.
Like, I know we talk about it later in this episode, like our cheeks hurt so bad from like smiling.
Yeah.
Like it was like painful legitimately. And I know that we do, it shows us later in the scene actually dancing and stuff with the
Mhm.
Marines. So we must have like finished up at some point. But I felt like the whole night we were in like one spot just doing photos the whole night.
Yeah.
So whether she ever had a beer, I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
And then Lacey has us all standing. What?
Even before you guys get to the stage, I wrote, and I'm not trying to go hard on her here. I'm just, as a viewer, and again, I look like shit in this episode too. But like when you guys are all walking in a line to the stage, she just looks like a random, because she's not even like dressed up in the slightest.
Yeah.
Like it's not even like reality show girl who's going to go do an appearance. She looks like a random person who jumped out of the audience and got in line with you guys.
But before we even go out to the stage,
Mhm.
we're still backstage and Lacey has us all lined up and she's like, okay, and then Kendra's going to stand next to you. And then Kendra looks at me and she's like, oh my God, do you like have a speech prepared or something? And I was like, no, nobody told us that we had to go on stage and like talk.
Off the cuff.
Like we thought we were just going to wave and take pictures and like sign autographs and dance or whatever.
Mhm.
Nobody told us we were going on stage and had to like prepare to say something.
Yeah.
And then of course, who does it fall on?
Yeah.
Me. And I'm like, okay.
Well,
Okay.
you did a great job.
Thanks. But I feel what I was feeling at that moment where I'm not scared because I feel like I got this, but at the same time, I'm like, oh shit. Like I was not expecting this. And now all of a sudden, this was just like going to be fun and no big deal. And now all of a sudden it's like, whoa, pressure.
Mm-hmm.
And Kendra just looks so nervous. The fact that we have to go on stage and say something. She's like, okay, you talk. I'm just going to be like, yell something out or whatever.
Yell something out.
Oh yeah, she said, I'm just going to lean over and say, good luck, you guys. I love you. And I say, and I'm like, okay, whatever you want to say.
And then you say you want to go to Baghdad. Did you make any headway on that? Like for like a USO type of thing?
No. Did I say that right now?
Yeah, when you're on stage at the very end, you say, and I want to come out to Baghdad and visit you guys or something like that.
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
write it
Okay,
down,
yeah, I'm
but-
gonna get that in a minute. 1 second. And then I grab the mic and I ask everyone how they're doing and tell them what an honor it is to be there because I really do feel like that. Like it's such an honor to like spend this last moments with them. They're with their families and meet all their families and everything. How excited we are to be a part of it. And then I say, I want to share a story with you. And I tell them about my brother being in Baghdad. And I hope that I could come and visit them someday with a few of my friends. And then I point to all the playmates and stuff. And yes, I absolutely wanted to do more stuff with the USO. I think we did like a couple little things here and there. Like I think we go to Camp Pendleton later on. And then I did this one thing just at like some little theater in Hollywood that had something to do with the USO, but like it never took off. Like I was like throwing myself at them. Like I want to go over there. I want to do stuff. I want to do a whole tour. I want to, whatever. And it just never, I don't know if Playboy was secretly being like, no, we don't want her doing this. Or like if USO was just like, we don't want Playboy, but I don't think the USO was, or if it's because they're in a Muslim country and Playboy's it's sort of like, you're walking that line over there.
Yeah, I think it's just super hard to get anything like that going.
But then there's like so many other people that went and still go.
Really? I feel like I never hear about people like going, not like you always see like that famous footage of like Marilyn Monroe in Korea or like Anne Margaret back in the day. I feel like you don't really hear about it that much these days.
I definitely see people go. And especially at that time, I was still seeing people go. And my brother would tell me about, a country music guy was there and did like a concert for them, or like so-and-so was there or whatever. So I don't know if it was the Playboy thing, because even in another episode, or it might have been this episode, but previously, when I say that I was sending my brother these care packages to give out to everybody, and we were throwing the Playboy magazines in there and like signed autographs and stuff like that, I say something to the like that it's not really, we're not really supposed to be doing that necessarily because of where it's going, but because they're on a US base, like it should be okay. But like it's like a gray area, I feel like. So I don't know if it had anything to do with Playboy or not, but I wanted to do that so bad. And no, other than those couple little things that we did, it never happened.
We really had a handful of like really good fun ideas toward the end of the show that never, and like things could have been so different. I'm glad they weren't different, but like if I would have stayed there and if the show would have kept going with all of us, like we could have done some really cool shit.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, you never know how it would really have worked out or if we would have got to do any of those things, but.
Yeah. And then an interview, and this is the first time I'm pointing it out, I say, my parents and my sister are in town. And as we've already seen them, and they were able to go with me to this event. And just being there and seeing all the families of these Marines that were getting ready to leave was really emotional for my mom. And it shows my mom crying.
Yeah.
My mom's like, I'm always crying. I'm like, no, I'm always crying.
Mm-hmm. You know what's a blast from the past is seeing all the people in the audience with like the old-fashioned phones and the camcorders and stuff like that.
Oh.
Like it is really a trip down the aisle of Best Buy in 2007.
And yeah, then it just shows like B-roll of us posing for photos with everyone. And this is where, like in an interview, I say we had so much fun that night. And I think I took pictures with every single person there. We were taking pictures for so long that Kendra and I were complaining that our cheeks hurt.
So how was the whole event? Like any memories that aren't on the show?
No, because like I said, honestly, we took so I'm
like
pretty sure we took pictures with
Yeah.
every single person in that room. So it was just nice to meet everybody and meet the families and see their excitement and probably take their mind off what, you know, where they're about to go for a little while. But it wasn't much more than that because that was all that we had time for.
Mm-hmm.
O Positive is a women's health company. They offer a range of symptom-targeting supplements that support women at every stage of life, from their first period to well beyond their last. O Positive is committed to breaking down stigmas and addressing issues many women experience: hormone health, vaginal health, menopause, and so much more. Uro is a probiotic blend specifically formulated to support vaginal health, balance healthy vaginal pH, support healthy vaginal smell, maintain healthy vaginal flora. Many factors like sex, tight clothing, sweat from working out, hormones, periods, etc. They can disrupt the vaginal health and lead to an imbalance in the vaginal flora and pH, causing unhealthy vaginal odor, taste, abnormal discharge, and discomfort. Urovaginal Probiotic is a blend of 4 powerful strains of Lactobacillus probiotics, backed by research showing these strains support healthy vaginal odor, vaginal pH, and flora. In addition, Uro contains prebiotics that increase effectiveness of the probiotics. When taken daily, 2 capsules a day, Uro delivers noticeable benefits within 8 weeks. Many see results sooner. Many customers talk about how the improvement in vaginal health led to greater confidence as well as better sex and intimacy. Just listen to what some of the customers say. I've been insecure about the taste and smell down there, but this probiotic really helps balance out my system so I can go out feeling confident and sexy. This product is a life changer. Talk about build up your sex life and confidence. My husband loves them and noticed a difference during intimacy. Every woman needs this. So take proactive care of your health and head to opositive.com/nextlevel or enter next level at checkout for 25% off your first purchase. That's opositive.com/nextlevel for 25% off.
Do you remember what time you got home?
No. I don't even remember what time the event was.
Super late. Maybe that's why I didn't go. Maybe it was just something that went so late that Hef was like, nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah, and I don't know what day of the week it was. So if it was like buffet dinner, he might not have wanted all of us to be gone at the same time.
Yeah.
I don't know. In the interview, Kendra says it was very, very special, and I'm sure we definitely made them happy before we left. So I said, I think Kendra looks at this as a special thing we did for them and made them happy. I don't think their wives are too happy though. Ha 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 ha. But I don't think that that's funny. Like these are their families are there to support them, and they're just about to go off to a war zone. And Kendra's like laughing that their wives are jealous that we were there, or that she might have been instigated. I don't know.
Yeah,
like, do you know what I like? The tone isn't right to me. I don't think it's funny. Like they don't need to fight with their wives because Kendra's like flirty or something. And then it reminded me of just this thing. We may have talked about this a long time ago. But one of the things that I learned when I was doing like alcohol spokes modeling and like going out and doing promotions and stuff like that, is that when you approach a couple at a bar, you should always talk to the female first.
That was the rule at Hooters too. You had to talk to the wife and kids.
Yeah.
Wife and kids, like whoever like the woman and the children were, because it was such like a male gaze oriented place. You had to make everybody feel comfortable, and I'm not here to take your man.
Yes. It very much implies that I'm not here to like flirt with him or to like take him from you or whatever. And like she's important too, and like address her first. And I feel like in an event like this, that's especially important too, because they're their wives, they're young, and they're there to support them and stuff. And then all these playmates walk in, and it might feel intimidating or make you jealous or whatever. So that little line kind of made me feel funny. And then I also wanted to say too, I feel like our philosophy is sort of different on it. She looks at it as a special thing that we got to go do for them. And I sort of look at it as something that we got to do that was very special to me.
Yeah.
So I feel like even that is like a totally different
You're right. Totally
way
different
of looking at
things.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So I don't know. I'm not trying to like make it into a big thing or anything like that. It's just I had a lot of thoughts at the very end there that like based off just that one line, but I'm just like, I thought of all these different things.
Yeah,
and I'm
that's
like,
totally.
it kind of just hit me for some reason.
Yeah,
like,
no, I'm fascinated with that. Just like how a certain situation can be so different based on the way you're looking at it and what it means to you.
Yeah, it's interesting. So yeah, then the next scene, gates to the mansion are opening. Patriotic music is playing.
It's the 4th of July party, my favorite party. I like so want to throw my own 4th of July parties. And like, my dream is to have like Taylor Swift style 4th of July parties. I talk about this all the time. Sorry if I'm bringing it up again. But
You're
like
manifesting.
she has that house that's like the perfect 4th of July house. And then she has like the blow up slip and slides, and she's right on the beach. And another thing I love about it is her parties are always kind of small, which that is so my style. Like I would love to have just like 10 people over.
Yeah.
I kind of did it at my ex-husband's house last year. I just had like a handful of people over super last minute, and we were out at the pool and barbecue, and it was just like the perfect day. Maybe I can do something a little bit better. Like when I'm a billionaire, I'm having a 4th of July house. Like that's my dream.
Yeah. Fun. Well, I better get invited.
100%.
Yeah, in an interview, Holly says 4th of July is definitely her favorite holiday, and she thinks it is one of Hess' favorite too.
And I don't think it's one of his favorite holidays.
I don't either.
I think it's one of those dumb things in confessional where you just say something to kind of say it and like put in a good word. And I know I was being asked that because they're always trying to like reconnect Hef with the narrative a little bit more. But I don't think he disliked it at all, but I don't think it was one of his favorites. Like his favorite is Christmas or Halloween or even his birthday.
Yeah.
Like I think 4th of July was just kind of incidental. Like, oh, I'm cool. I can have fireworks more than anything for him. And they show the shuttle coming up that's bringing all the guests up from the UCLA parking lot. And they have like an invitation mounted in the window. And it's like a headshot of Hef with like an American flag like pasted over the photo.
Well, you know why they did that, right? Because so they would have a secret image in the windows, because one time somebody hijacked a shuttle or like rented their own shuttle and came up and pretended that they were just like one of the shuttles.
The effort.
And so it was a secret like image in the window so that security would know this is an official.
Yeah, I was going to say, because I don't think the mansion never sent out an invitation for the 4th of July party like they would do for the other big parties. You would just get a call. So I think that was an invitation from a different party, like probably his birthday party one year, and they like pasted an American flag over it. But that is so funny about the shuttle. It's just like, I know like when something's exclusive, people will go to lengths to get in. It's like that story of the person who tried to like crawl through the vent to get into Studio 54 and they died. But hiring a whole shuttle, like going out of your way to do the research, because I don't even think like the average person even knows like a shuttle is taken up to the mansion. So first of all, you have to know that. You have to know what kind of shuttle they use. You have to go rent the shuttle. Like the effort. And like how many times did they get away with that before they were caught, etc. I really need to know more.
And think of how many people they had on. They had a whole group of people that were like, and then who is the poor driver?
Right?
Well, maybe the driver just rented. Yeah.
And they show Sarah coming up in her new Mini Cooper, which is a cute little tie-in and continuation of her Playmate of the Year thing, because of course that car was her prize. And then I love this scene they have where the camera is at the entrance that's back by the bathhouse where our parking spaces are.
Yeah.
And they show Allison Waite walking up and she's by herself and she just looks at the camera. She goes, it's just me. And she's just really funny about it.
Yeah. Shows Ray Anthony playing the trumpet. It's funny because it ends on your line and there's a lot of people I don't know too. And then it shows Ray Anthony playing the trumpet as if you don't know him.
I know.
And you're peeking out the window. Oh, and this is when you're talking about, so we're in my room and we're peeking out the window and you say, when I get married, I want to have fireworks, but I want to have the tent. How am I going to do it?
And I'm just so casually talking about it. And I remember thinking about like, if we got married, what would that look like? And I always thought that it would have to be like kind of tacked onto an existing party. Cause I just know
I remember you
like
saying
the
that.
way Hef does things and like the way he tries to get out of spending money or get the company to pay for things. I was like, oh, okay, well, we would get married and that would be like smaller and private. And then the reception would be like the Midsummer Night's Dream party, but just like the coloring and the themes and maybe there'd be some special performances. But it's crazy that like I was thinking about marrying this multi-millionaire and I'm thinking about what's the cheapest way we can do this? Like what the fuck?
Budget cuts and
Oh my God, like my real wedding was so better.
your real wedding was incredible. Okay, there's a knock on my door and I yell, come in. And now it's my dad.
Yeah. And he's all excited. Oh, I wrote in my notes, I wrote Bio Dad is back.
Yes.
So Bio Dad is back with a shirt. And you guys are all like, he looks like Eddie on the back of the shirt. And I'm like, I don't know.
You don't
I think
see
Eddie's
it.
better looking than this. Like, I think you guys are just excited.
Yeah.
I don't seem very convinced.
Yeah. So it's like I think it was like a Harley shirt or something, but it had military people on it. I don't know. Like a photo. It was like an actual photo of two guys in the back. And I don't know. My dad and I had it in our head that one of them really looked like Eddie, but Holly was like,
so fun. I was like, no.
No, it doesn't. We just wanted him there in spirit.
And I just can't with how low effort I look in this scene. I don't enjoy it as a viewer. And I get why I was doing it because one of my favorite outfits was that 4th of July bunny bikini I had. But at this point in time, I'd been at the mansion for like 5 4th of Julys. I'd wore that outfit 5 times. And this was the first year we had the big professional slip and slides. And I know I'm just going to immediately go down that slide and my tail's going to be sopping wet and my ears are going to be gone and my hair's going to be wet and I don't want mascara streaming down my face. So I'm like, why don't I just cut to the chase and wear a normal red, white, and blue bikini, no makeup, no hair, which I get where I was coming from because I'm just going to mess it up anyway. But come on, it's for the show. I could have looked good for a second. So as a viewer, I'm not enjoying my aesthetic choices.
Well, I put in some effort. Like I had a custom costume made, which I don't think is flattering on me.
I think it's cute. It's very of the era you were going for.
Yeah. And then I do minimal makeup and I don't do my hair. I do like a little victory roll with my bangs, but other than that, my hair is just flat and laying there. And I think I had the same idea you did. Like I'm going to be a little cute. Like I got a cute outfit. And that outfit that I'm wearing is also a swimsuit. It's like one of those like 1950s style play suits.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't love the way I look either. Even though I did put in a little bit more effort. But yeah, then Hef knocks on the door.
Oh my God. And watching it back, I can see that he is not thrilled with my choice of not dressing up.
I don't think he likes either one of us.
Really?
I got like that vibe. Because I walk over there. We both walk over there and he looks at you and he looks at me and he says, oh, you're ready to slip and slide, huh?
Yeah, and he just looks like he's ready to go the wrong direction. And I'm just playing it off like, I just want to be aerodynamic. I'm so cute. I'm just going to go. And he kind of like plays it off and is okay. I think okay with it once he knows what I was going to do. Like, oh, she's just going to look like shit anyway. But I can see for a second, he's like, what the fuck?
I can too. And then I'm thinking, we probably should have like put in the extra effort to at least get like some cute pictures at the beginning.
Yeah, like I could have. Well, no, I wanted to get on the slip and slide right away. I want to be the first fucking person on it. But I could have at least dressed up for a photo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Womp womp. But also, I think in my head at that time, I think I'm not leaving the mansion. I have so many 4th of Julys ahead of me. I can always break out that bunny costume again. Like, I didn't think this was my second to last one. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes.
And then there's a girl with pasties. Is that Carlotta Champagne?
I don't know who Carlotta Champagne is.
She's
wait,
like,
what?
she would model, I think, for Playboy special editions. And I didn't know who she was at the time. Like, I think I'd seen her name just in the special editions, but I didn't really know her. But I know who she is now. I think she lives in Vegas now, and she was like friends with Claire for a while. But looking back, I'm like, oh, is that Carlotta? I think it might be.
I have no idea.
And they do a zoom in shot of some girl's ass.
Yeah.
Just like,
And did you say it shows John Lovitz?
I didn't write that down.
Oh, he's getting the volleyball game started. And then, so the girl with the pasties is
Carlotta, I think.
Carlotta. So she's with Ron Jeremy.
What?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if she's with him. I'm not saying
just
she's with
standing
him. They're standing next to each other. And he's got I think he's got his arm around her. And she's like, with the pasties. Yeah. And then it pans in on the girl wearing a thong. In an interview, Kendra says, I love the 4th of July. I played volleyball with my fantasy daughter, Tatiana. Tatiana is Tina Jordan's daughter, and I want a daughter just like her.
Random.
Thoughts?
I do have thoughts, but I don't really know what my thoughts are on this. First of all, it's just weird to out of the blue. And I'm not saying weird, like this is such a bad choice on her part. I'm just saying like the way it's put together in the show. It's just kind of random, like fantasy daughter. And I guess she goes on to explain it like one day I want a daughter like that. But it just seems like weird and out of nowhere and odd. And I think again, it's like she doesn't have anything to do in this episode. And she's trying to find something to latch onto. Like what's unique about this party for me? What would the show like to see? Oh, I know. I think my thought is it just seems really inorganic and I don't even know where to go from there.
Well, it's just bizarre to me because I feel like we saw Tina Jordan occasionally, but not very often. And then we saw her daughter even less. So and I've been there longer than her and I barely know Tatiana. Yeah. And so for Kendra to all of a sudden have this relationship out of nowhere with somebody who's been up there for 5 minutes is weird to me.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden that's her fantasy. You don't even know of that little girl.
Yeah. It was weird.
And
I think it was just trying to find a gimmick for the moment. Like, what am I doing at this party?
Yeah.
And then they show Saskia dancing with Steve Wada, which is funny.
And David Hasselhoff. Proof.
Yeah.
He was at every party.
Yeah.
Shows girls jumping on the trampoline. And did you see somebody could do an amazing flip?
No, I missed it.
Oh my God. They just back flip,
whoa,
crazy.
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
And then did you notice they do the food thing with you again?
Did they? Let me look at my notes here.
It's not anything crazy or egregious, but I feel like they go to you to list off all the food at the party. And when you say the food, they zoom in.
Oh.
It's not a big deal thing, but it's just that same theme again. And it's weird because is it weird to watch these girls who are so skinny, the most washboard stomachs, and they're piling on the sundae? Not that you can't eat like that every once in a while when you're super in shape, but I'm just I'm always trying to just imagine myself as just a viewer who knows nothing when I'm rewatching this. And it's watching that super skinny Instagram model who's always posting the big pizzas she's supposedly eating. I feel like it's almost I don't know. Do you feel like that footage was kind of selected? Let's find the the skinniest girls eating the craziest shit.
Yes. But I feel like they did that because look how funny. She's so skinny, but she eats like this. But I feel like that sends such a bad message to people.
Yeah. I didn't like it.
Mm-hmm. And then Sarah and Amber come out to do the slip and slide. So you know it's on now.
There's a whole slip and slide sequence. Victoria and John are there with baby Treese. We're doing races. And then it switches to nighttime. And that's another thing about the 4th of July party is I always felt like a drowned rat. And I felt that on Sundays too. I would never go upstairs and redo. I'd go upstairs and shower and stuff, but I'd usually be wet hair pulled back for the buffet and movie. Because I mean, I guess if you really wanted to hurry, you could have gone upstairs and done a blow dry and a full beat, but I never did. I always kind of came back down to watch fireworks looking like a drowned rat.
Did you notice, sorry, back to the slip and slides, people were jumping off?
Oh yeah, we were going for it.
Yeah. Not just sitting down and sliding.
Yeah,
people
no,
were
we were going balls
jumping
to the wall.
Yeah.
And did you notice when they're panning over all the people sitting down to watch fireworks, they show Crispin Glover?
Yes.
Do you remember the rat
yes.
thing?
Yes.
I don't know if we've told this story before, but Crispin Glover, who at one point was in this movie called Willard about like this Lord of the Rats, we were like sitting at this table outside. It was probably a different 4th of July party because we would sit at this one table with Hef to like eat before the fireworks and stuff. And he was standing with us back up against the outside of the house. And then like a rat runs out from, I don't know where, under his feet. And he was like, and like free. It was just like funny to see. And like there were rats on the property. Like you wouldn't see a ton of them. It wasn't crazy, but you know, at the mansion, they used all organic. You know, they didn't use any like pesticides that weren't organic or anything like that. And it was like just part of the ecosphere. It wasn't considered weird to have like a rat every now and again. We weren't like rat infested, just clarifying. But but a rat ran out of nowhere and he just like flipped. And it was just so funny, especially since that movie.
Since the movie was what was extra funny.
It was funny to watch, period. But then we're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I heard like secondhand stories about like Crispin Glover like lives in a castle or something.
Like in a castle here?
No, I think like in Europe, he like owns a castle.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Huh.
So did Bio Dad love the 4th of July party?
Yeah, of course. Why wouldn't he? But you were talking about the long day, and I remember feeling that way too. And especially before I lived there, when you're just like a mansion guest who gets invited, if you're lucky enough to be invited to Fun in the Sun and get to stay for buffet dinner, because those were kind of two different guest lists.
Yeah.
There was always this weird time in between where you're hella tired from being in the sun all day and like sitting by the pool and stuff and maybe having drinks. But yet there's this gap in time before like the buffet starts and a new crowd of people starts coming and you feel just tired. And
weren't you saying girls who hung out for the whole day were called gym rats because they had to stay in the gym to like get ready?
Yeah. So when I would do it, like we would go down to the gym and like just shower and relax and try and do our makeup in that terrible lighting down there and stuff, all sharing like this bathroom and everything. And we referred to each other as gym rats.
Oh, that's funny.
Like, so, and I messaged you, I was like, do you remember calling each other gym rats? You were like, no.
Yeah, I usually didn't stay for Fun in the Sun. Like I would come during the day, but then I would like, every once in a while, I might stay for like the outdoor buffet, but I usually didn't like go into the movie or a lot of times didn't even stay for the buffet because there was just that downtime and I just kind of felt dumb staying there.
Yeah.
So I didn't.
Yeah. And I always been like, oh, it'd be so nice if you had your own room and you could go up and like lay down for a minute or take like a real shower or like really do your makeup or change your clothes. Like you're not living out of a bag and like just trying to like find a plug somewhere to plug my curling iron in, you know, to try and. So yeah, that was one of the things I just remember. Those were long, long days, but fun.
Another thing about this episode that seems a little off to me, because like I was saying last week, this episode just seems different to me than the other episodes, is after the 4th of July party's over, it kind of feels like the episode's over, but it's not.
Yeah.
A rooster crows.
Yeah, I agree with that too. Yeah, so we're all seated for the fireworks. And I had a note on this. It shows us seated for the fireworks and we're taking photos. And Hef, I wrote in my notes, looks absolutely blissful.
Oh, I didn't notice.
Like he just looks so happy, so content.
He probably was. Yeah.
The fireworks start. Kendra has Tatiana on her lap. And I just wrote, she didn't even have a special connection with this kid.
Yeah, it's very
just like
out
an
of the blue.
attention thing.
Yeah, an attention thing, or do you think it was also, because like I didn't care about Tina, but do you think it's like that whole thing where like she really tried to attach to Barbie because there's supposed to be this rivalry. So let's really attach to Tina and like drag her and Tatiana up to where we're sitting. Like I didn't think anything about it at the time and like I didn't care, but looking back, I'm like, I don't know.
Well, I also noticed that it didn't seem like Kendra had any of her.
Right. She doesn't have a sidekick.
Yeah.
You're right.
So that's interesting. And that's sort of weird given how many people were at the mansion that day. Like even Amber was there and stuff. So like, but I guess no Destiny, no Juliana, no Monica, no
Brittany Binger.
Yeah. Or the other Brittany.
Yeah.
Or like, where is everybody?
Yeah.
Weird. In an interview, I say it's amazing that Hef has a fireworks permit. I think we've talked about that before on here. And he is the only private residence in Los Angeles County that has a firework permit, and it shows more of the fireworks.
And then in interview, Kendra says the fireworks show at the mansion is absolutely amazing. It's extra touching too. When you're sitting there with your loved ones, I get thankful. I'm actually really thankful for Hef. You know, he is my hero.
Of course. Still saying that to this day.
It's crazy how often she feels like she has to say that.
Yeah.
Well, at least there's something that kind of makes Kendra a little emotional.
Yeah.
Fireworks. And then in an interview, I say the most important thing to me about 4th of July is remembering the troops and the people that are over there giving us our independence here every day. And of course, when the fireworks went off that night, I told him it totally made me think of my brother. And I always get a little teary-eyed at the end. It was really cool to have my dad there that year because I know that he is feeling the same way that I am. And I'm not the only crybaby in the group, which is true.
Yeah.
And so having us each do like our wrap ups, like what 4th of July means to us. And so, because you say, every year I love our 4th of July party more and more. And this year was definitely no exceptions. And I like how they do the hearts and the Playboy Bunny fireworks.
Oh, yeah. Those are cute.
And then it shows you and Hef kissing. And that's the end of that. And then, yeah, cock-a-doodle-doo.
Yeah. Next day.
Mansion gardeners are out watering the plants. I wonder if any of them are Jesus.
Oh my God. That's a Patreon private joke. So this is the day we're awaiting your brother, and they're making it look like it's like the day after 4th of July, but this really happened in September, right?
Yes. Cuts to Norma's office and I walk in there. I'm wearing like a weird outfit. I'm wearing like a red t-shirt and like white pants and blue tennis shoes.
Very just all American. Girl next door.
Yeah. And Norma says, cute, you look cute. And I said, my brother's coming home today. And then I'm talking to Mary and she says, oh, and he gets to stay for a long time too. And I was wondering I think that he wasn't staying at the mansion for a long time. I think he was staying at the mansion for maybe like 3 or 4 days. And then we were planning to drive home to go see my parents. So we were going to drive together from LA back to Lodi. And I said, yeah, I know. And I asked him what the first thing he wants to do is, and he said, take a shower. And I said, I can imagine. Because like the route to get to like LA is kind of crazy because they have to go to like Germany first and kind of be like debriefed or something.
Yeah.
Then they go like at however many flights it takes to get to LA from there. So it's kind of and I feel like it was always sort of never certain, like exactly what day he was going to get there. It was kind of like, well, they keep you in Germany for a certain amount of days, but they don't really tell you how many days. And then you finally get to go home from there. So it was like he knew the roundabout days, but not exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm talking a little bit like that in here, which I think I say some things like that. Oh, I say that my brother's schedule is really unpredictable because it's the Army. And I guess they make changes all the time. That's kind of what I'm referring to in all of this is that there was no way to really tell exactly like what time he was coming home.
Yeah.
For some reason. Yeah. And so then I say, and the second thing he wants to do is have dinner and cocktails and have laughs and says, take a shower and get drunk. And then I talk about how I want to make a big deal about it. So of course I'm over there decorating the room.
Sprinkles Cupcakes makes another appearance.
Yes. And Anastasia and I are making posters.
Oh, you know what you have in the background?
What?
That clown puppet.
Oh, I posted pictures on our Patreon of that
There's
too.
a creepy clown puppet hanging behind you in your room. And that came from the tennis tournament that they would do every September, like around your birthday at the mansion. This clown guy shows up and he gives you a little clown version of himself. And I looked this clown guy up and he's like been in movies. He was in the Doors movie. Like I love that movie. There's a scene near the end where like Jim Morrison is at like a birthday party and he's the clown there.
It's so weird. And I have like it's not a real clown phobia, but like a faux clown phobia kind of. Like
you think they're creepy.
I think they're creepy, but I'm not like freaked out by a clown.
I feel like that's how Zach was. Like he always says publicly that he's like scared of clowns, but I don't think he means he's really scared of clowns. I think he means like they're creepy because he fucking loves clowns. Like I would get him a clown every holiday.
Yeah, that's how I feel about it too. Like they're creepy. They're creepy for sure, but that's kind of cool to me.
Yeah. And I have a question. Is there any such thing as a non-creepy clown now? Like, would anybody ever just hire a straight up clown for a kid's birthday party?
I think they do.
Really?
Yeah, I think they do.
I thought everybody just thought clowns were creepy to the point where Ronald McDonald even had to be run off.
well, Ronald McDonald's one of the creepiest ones of them all. He is so freaky.
Yeah.
Even as a little kid, I was like, when people would have those birthday parties at McDonald's, I was like, I do not want to see his face.
I need to get the McDonald's sheet cake. I remember them well from when I worked at McDonald's in high school, but now it's a thing where you can still get them some places, but it's so hard to find the McDonald's that have them. I remember it was maybe a year ago I was trying to find one so we could have it on the show.
No, me too. I was calling every McDonald's and they were just like,
calling
no.
in Vegas. They're like, no.
Yeah, everybody said no.
There needs to be an app. Where do we find the sheet cakes?
And they said that it's the ones that have the Playhouse things. Those are the ones because they do the birthday parties.
There's like none of those left.
No, we have one. And they were like, we don't do the cakes.
Oh.
So I was like, that's a lie.
Oh.
Not that they were lying, but people who said that the play things indicate who has the birthday cakes is a lie.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. So, I was really glad that we were making these posters and stuff because it's so stressful, like waiting for somebody to arrive like that.
Yeah, I was going to say that must be so frustrating to not know exactly when your loved one is coming home because you want to make that special. You want to take the time off of work.
Yeah. I have to assume that on the day I knew, like he has a flight, so I must know. But it does seem like we're still not sure. Till the second he arrives, we're still not sure. So I'm not really sure how that all went down.
And the room you're decorating is bedroom 6, which we don't see much of on this show. We'll see it again when Patty's recovering from her surgery later on. But
yes. And then we go down to the front gate and we're decorating that.
Anastasia looks so cute in her braided pigtails.
Yeah.
And wasn't something happening like all these cars were coming up, like random fans who were driving through the neighborhood and like trying to say hi while we were decorating the gate? And it was kind of getting annoying because like we couldn't finish our scene or couldn't finish decorating the gate because the show never, I mean, sometimes they do, like when we go do the signing in Vegas, but they don't love to break the fourth wall about like fans or acknowledge the show. So we kind of had to like start and stop a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what was your brother's stay like? Do you remember everything you did once he showed up?
So I know that first night we went to Saddle Ranch. There's a lot that happened and it's not all good. So that first night we went to Saddle Ranch and we had drinks and we rode the bull. I'm posting pictures on the Patreon of all of that. And we did the s'mores out on the fire pits and the whole thing. And it was really fun. We had a great time. And while he was in LA, everything was great. But then we got a call from my mom. And my stepdad had a heart attack.
What?
And so we had to leave early to go to Lodi and drive straight to Sacramento to the hospital.
He was in the hospital. Remember this?
And he had to have like stents put in and stuff like that. So it was the first few days were just hanging out at the hospital and with my mom. And
that really sucks and is scary, but you can look at it too as like, well, that's cool that the whole family could be together if something like that has to happen.
Yeah.
Yikes.
And then the other awful thing that happened is while my brother, and I wrote down the details so I don't get it wrong. Let me find everything. Okay, so then on September 10th, which was like a few days after we are at the hospital and we're in Lodi and everything, my brother gets an email that his platoon was involved in a really horrible accident.
What?
And 7 of his platoon members were killed.
Oh my
and
God.
7 were injured. And that's 2/3 of his whole platoon.
Fucking terrifying and horrible that had to happen to anybody. But like, thank God your brother wasn't there.
Yeah. So, I mean, these are like his best friends.
Guilt?
Oh, big time.
Oh, God, that's so horrible. Oh, I'm so sorry.
So my stepdad has this major heart attack. He loses 7 people from his platoon. All these things happen while he was home. So I don't know if it was the best trip home.
Holy shit, that is eventful.
Yeah, but a lot went down.
So we're all holding signs outside the house waiting to greet Eddie. And you can tell Kendra's just starting to do celebrity rap superstar.
Yes.
She's in this like whole get up for it.
Yes, you can definitely tell. And I can feel like the anticipation and the stress and the and everything. And anyway, we get a call that they're at the front gate, and then here they come. I feel like it takes forever for him to get out of the car.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, just get out of the car. But in an interview, I talk about how cool it was to have everyone up front and ready to greet Eddie when he came up, and Crystal and Kendra and Holly, Anastasia, Wednesday. And I feel like Anastasia looks super nervous too. It's like that. It's so weird how much anticipation goes into that. Like even Crystal says, I had the butterflies and stuff.
Totally.
And so then he gets out of the car and Anastasia just drops her poster and runs screaming and gives him a big hug. And then I run over and give him a big hug, and everyone's hugging and crying. And then they do an on-the-fly interview with my brother, and he says, seeing my sisters cry is not hard to deal with because I grew up with that emotion. My mom is real bad about it too. It's tears of joy though, and I was happy to see them too.
There's a couple other girls there, like I think Juliana and Regina.
Uh-huh. And then Hef comes down and shakes Eddie's hand and welcomes him home and thanks him. And then in an interview, I talk about how awesome it is that Eddie gets to stay at the mansion because not very many guys get to stay in the mansion. Yeah. So he's lucky. Oh, and then in an interview, they have my brother saying, the thing I love so much about Bridget is the fact that she is a real person. You know, what you see is what you get, and you get a whole hell of a lot. She's an awesome person.
Aw, I love that.
And then in an interview, I say, this is the best 4th of July ever because we're still pretending that this is like 4th of July time. And it was super good to have Eddie home, and I couldn't ask for anything more. And we all take a picture, and Hess says, God bless America. And then in my notes is when I talk about this was the trip from hell.
Oh my God.
For him.
Yeah.
I mean, there was some really good things. And like you said, it's nice that we were all home because it would be even probably harder for him if he had been away while Jeff's, having a heart attack and in the hospital. But then good thing that he was, because he might not have been with us anymore if he was over there. So, it's definitely really hard for my brother. You know what he had, and I don't think he'll mind if I tell this story, but he had this massage not that long ago. Mm-hmm. And the woman that does the massages is also an intuitive and like a psychic medium a little bit. And she will do like the reading while she's doing the massage.
Oh my God, that's fun.
Because she can get your energy from it in Michigan.
Oh shit.
I know.
I would do that. I love a massage and I love a psychic. Those are two of my favorite things.
Well, I want to have her on my podcast, but I also want to do a massage with her.
Yeah, let's fly her out.
I know, right? And he said that while she was doing the massage, and I may have some of the details wrong, but this is how I remember him saying it, that she told him that, some of his platoon members were there. She was seeing them and that they were there, and that he has, guilt or remorse or whatever, and that they were telling him to like let it go. It's not his fault, and that, whatever. And but he said that the language that she was using was exactly
how they talked,
and like little like terms that they used with each other that there's no way she could have known. Like whatever they called themselves, or like however they like would talk to each other. He said she was like using their language.
Wow.
And that was so weird.
It's stuff like that makes me a believer.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
And that was recent. That was like just this last year or whatever. So, it's been a long time now since it was like 18 years. And so for them to come over and do like a message, come through and give a message like that and stuff.
That's so crazy.
It's really cool. Did you do best and worst?
I did. The show ends on a cute little snapshot of all of us. My worst is definitely the lack of effort and eye candy on my behalf. Like if I could go back in time, I would get myself spiffed up a little bit more. Best is obviously the emotion of your brother coming home and the slip and slides.
Yes. My worst is the Tatiana stuff, because I just feel like this episode was so sincere and heartfelt and everything. And that was the most insincere thing.
It was a reach.
I also don't love my 4th of July outfit. I know what I was trying to do, but I just feel like it doesn't flatter my body at all. And I don't love Hef's comment about our appearances.
Yeah.
Because
we shouldn't be surprised, but at the same time, it's like,
Yeah. And also, there's a thing in here that isn't in the show that was one of my worst, and I forgot to tell this story, so I'll tell it now.
What?
So obviously I'm not looking my best. We've all talked about that. But Michael Bay was at this party
Mhm.
and somebody was like, oh my God, you have to meet Michael Bay. I think he was doing some project that somebody thought I would be like super interested in. I don't know if he was doing like a scary movie or something or what. I don't know. They're like, do you ever talk to him? Because he comes to the mansion parties regularly. And I was like, no, I've never like met him or whatever. And so they introduced me to him and he was not nice.
Oh no. What did he do?
He was just like, and I don't even know if he knew that like I was one of Hef's girlfriends or that I
Probably
lived
not, or he
there.
would have been a little bit nicer.
I have to imagine he would have had he known.
God.
But he was just very just like, why do I want to meet this girl? Like, ew. And I felt so stupid that somebody introduced us and like,
It's so weird because like, you know, firsthand from like our moments in the public eye or like being around Hef or other famous people, like you do get approached by a lot of people and sometimes you're not always in the mood, but you just know how to handle it politely. And still people might be disappointed. Like they might not be getting the connection with you that they want, but you know how to like be polite.
yeah.
So that's like,
Yeah, but you're at a private party at a private house, you know, and like
weird.
if a playmate is introducing you to somebody, I don't know, but he was just like, why do I want to meet this girl?
Damn.
I know, it made me feel really dumb.
Oh no.
My best, of course, I love this episode. We're doing something to support the troops. Like all of my family is in it, I think.
Yeah.
My brother's home. It's super emotional for me. And I really feel like all of us were in such a comfortable place with each other at this
100%.
time.
Yeah.
Like I really, even though we like nitpick like for the sake of the episode, like some of the things of Kendra and everything, really at this time period, we were all so supportive of each other. Like I felt like we were really getting along well.
And Kendra's definitely participating. Like I do say that some of it seems a little forced on the part of the show, like bringing her back to season 1 or the Tatiana thing is a little weird, but at least she's like trying and at least she's showing up and she's going to something that she probably doesn't give 2 shits about.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And I think that she's doing it for the greater good and she sees that and everything. And on a personal level, the 3 of us and even Hef, the 4 of us are just getting along so well.
Yeah.
And when I say Hef looked blissful during the fireworks and stuff, I think everybody just felt that whole thing, that everything was just so good at that moment.
Yeah. I can tell I'm totally comfortable. The fact that I think, even though Hef doesn't look thrilled, the fact that I'm like, oh, I can show up to this with no makeup or talking casually about like what our wedding thing is going to be. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm finally in a good place.
Yeah. Well, I think the fact that I don't really do my makeup and hair either and feel comfortable, like I'm just going to like half do it because we're doing the water slide all day and stuff. The fact that we're that comfortable to do that when all these hot girls are coming up to the mansion and they're going to be like all over Hef and stuff like that. Like, we don't care because we're that comfortable.
Yeah.
And I feel like that says a lot.
So maybe it's a good thing that we showed up organically because at least it's a record of that. Like, even though as a viewer, I'm like, come on, put a little more effort in. I'm not seeing any eye candy, Holly, you know, but it's a record of where we were at for sure.
Yeah, I think it says a lot. And it also says a lot that Hef didn't freak out and was like, why don't you put some makeup on? Or like whatever. He was like, yeah, this is a slip and slide.
Yeah, you can see he looks like kind of pissed for a second, but then he's like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's that episode. If you guys want to hear us talk about our commentary on this episode, tune into our Patreon at patreon.com/girlsnextlevel and check out our merch at girlsnextlevel.shop. And we'll see you guys next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Telling you, this is unhinged.